This is a 3D Studio tutorial for camera match. First, set your units. For this example, it's decimal inches. We know the book dimension is 8 inches by 10 inches by 2. For this exercise, we're going to make a box of the 8 by 10 by 2 using the 4 viewports, because most of the action for the rest of the tutorial will happen in the perspective viewport. Zoom extends all viewport. Save your work. Okay, now we need to bring the image that we would like to use for camera match into the perspective viewport. Use configure viewport background. You're looking for a file. I'm going to use the file that is provided for the tutorial. And I actually like to have the aspect ratio match the bitmap. The file has been saved to our shared course directory. And it's image 88 JPEG. Okay, there we go. So the task now is to make a relationship between the piece of geometry, our box, and the Piranesi book that's sitting on the desktop. Adjust the viewport to your liking so that you can see both the geometry and the points that you want to match to in the background image. Toggle snaps, save file. And now you want to create a utility or a helper. And the helper you'd like to create belongs to the camera match group, and you want to make cam points. Snaps toggle using the vertex. And now you can select and click on a minimum of 5 points that do not exist in the same plane. Here's the third, fourth. That was the third, excuse me. Here's the fourth, and there's the fifth. And we can add 2 more, 6. And 7, we could go to the far left bottom if we choose. Now we use the utility, which is called cam point utility. And this is where you make a relationship between the first point there, cam 1, and its corresponding corner on the Piranesi book on my desktop. Now, Max asks you if you should set the aspect ratio, and you should say yes. But to start out, I prefer to go with the aspect ratio of the bitmap. Camera point 2 is now associated with the right rear top. Okay, now to keep track, you can use the select tool to confirm that you have selected the point. Select it, then assign its position, click. And then you continue this for all the other points, camera points that you've made in the scene. Select it, assign its position, click. To the bitmap, or the background bitmap. Okay, now that you're done with all the points, create camera. You can see the telltale blue lines in your screen. Change the camera viewpoint to that of the camera, and there the box aligns almost perfectly with your background. But now you notice that you haven't set up the environment map as the background. So in order to do that, I propose that you do a few things. First is you must create a bitmap environment background. So get material, bitmap, bring it to an empty position in your slider, pick the background image, go open, make sure you specify it's an environment, and then it's a screen map. Perfect. Now you need to tell the renderer to use that as the background image when you send a render request. So you need to launch the rendering environment pull-down menu, right? The dialog box right here, render environment. And it launches. Then grab the bitmap that for the background, drag it, place it on top of the name, except for instance. Ensure that use map is checked. Now you can close those two windows and render the viewport. And there you go. The tutorial is complete.